Well, everybody, welcome today. Kind of in a holding pattern right now. I got everything from my new shop all ready to go. Got this one sitting inside of here, so let's get after this. So what I want to do today here, friends, in this surgical procedure, time to get the hood off. Now, when I had it sitting over here in the yard, I wasn't too keen to take the hood off because I knew it was going to get rain and snowed on. I've got no intake, no air filter, plumbing, none of that. So I didn't necessarily want to pull the hood off and leave it sit in the yard. Hell, I didn't even, I didn't know if I was going to get this thing running. I didn't want to push it in here because then if I did push it in here without it running, I'd have to pull it back out with something else. So there was a whole lot of thought process that went involved in that. Now that I know I can start the tractor up and move it in and out pretty easily, now I can take the hood off so I can get to, I gotta go and pull that hydraulic flow divider back off, which will be a lot easier without the hood on it. And I'm gonna have to go through, it's gonna need some O-rings, maybe a spring, because it's dividing flow, but it's not dividing flow properly. So that's where I'm at today. They got the hydraulic oil tank right up under there, and of course it's full. And so I grabbed myself a couple empty buckets. Time to get that fluid drained out of there. I still got my little loader tractor sitting here from doing all of that the other day here, so I could just scoot in here and just lift the hood off and, put her someplace safe so I don't have to worry about it. And guys, it's going to be a lot easier to paint the hood with it off the tractor. Just throwing that out there. So let me get the oil drained out of it and get that out of my way. Guys, I'm no math magician or Scientologist or whatever, but it seems to me the best way to get that fluid from that tank that's way up there, if you follow that hose, she goes down here. You guys, watch my head. This is the reason. This is much better than crawling around in the mud out there. But anyway, so you follow that hose, comes down to the filter, which is just hanging on by a thread. So I've staged all these buckets around. She's only supposed to hold 15 gallons, so I'm guessing it's got 20. So I grabbed 4 buckets. I'm just gonna pull the filter and just let it drizzle till it's done. Ooh. Yep. That was fast. Wow. I know that's gonna fall right in the bucket, but nothing I can do about that now. Well, so I got about 5 gallons. I guess that beats the heck out of 25, but see if I can zap this off here the rest of the way and make a bigger mess. Oh, yep. Oh, there goes that part. More of it. Okay. That's nice. Well, I think for now I'm not going to worry about this much. I'm just going to let it drip, indefinitely, because I can now take the hoses off the bottom of the tank and pull the whole hood off without dumping oil everywhere. So let's just do that. We'll leave this here. It's not bothering me any right where it's sitting. Well, as far as I can tell, I've got the inlet and the outlet hose off the tank. Everything's dry. I do not believe there's a single bolt holding that hood on. Let me see if I can get my loader tractor out, get up on that thing, wrap some chains around it, and just kind of scoot it off, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but at least I know it won't be on that tractor. Well, there. I know that grain hauler's not moving for a while, so that hood should be fine there. Now I got all the room in the world to work on this thing. Lots I can get done now. And I'm going to start by pulling that thing off again so I can go through it like I should have in the first place and replace all the O-rings and springs that are busted inside so it does what it's supposed to do. I'll be a lot better off then. Well, this is certainly easier than trying to go up under the hood to do this job. All right, I guess. Let me clean this off a little bit and see what's going on. All right. There's the spring. Okay. These are pretty simple. There ain't a whole lot going on here. Just want to keep everything straight. I'm going to revert to my manual and see if there's anything I'm missing here. Otherwise, I'm going to clean the inside of it out, get myself some new seals for it, and basically put it back together. Because I said there ain't a whole lot that can go wrong, but I was losing an extreme amount of oil from somewhere. Guessing it's one of these solid, hard, what used to be O-rings that are now not O-rings anymore. But might as well replace them regardless. Everything else looks like it's in perfectly good working order, so aside from a piece of sludge or two inside of there, which, you know, it's been sitting outside for a lot of years, I would expect nothing less. Here, guys, it's stuff like this that I've been pulling out of that thing. I don't know what the hell that even is. Feels like plastic or something. Hell, I don't know. But that's the kind of stuff that'll get in the spool of these and, you know, plug these little holes off. And if these holes are plugged off, well, your flow divider can't divide flow. And you have no idea where you're going to go. You know what I'm getting at here. So I'm trying to get just keep giving her the brake clean, give her some compressed air. I've pulled a lot of chunks of shit out of this thing, so all makes good sense as to why it wasn't working so well. Well, guys, let's fast forward into the future a few minutes here. I went and replaced all these little crusty seals in here. Went to town, got some good stuff. Got this all blown out and clean, reassembled. Ain't much to it, and at least now I got, from the pressure hose, I got oil coming directly through the CF, which is what they call the controlled flow, which heads to the steering motor. So this is probably going to work better than it did. Now my next thing, obviously I got to put this back in the tractor. Now these have two filters underneath. hydraulic filters, one for each pump. And I grabbed 2 of these hydraulic filters, one for each pump. I'm going to get the steering one changed right now. The other one that I dropped yesterday to get the tank off there, I'll get to that when I get to that. But for right now, I want to get this one done. So that way I can put all the steering components back together. Picked up a handful of new belts, so I'll be showing you how not terribly difficult it is to get that sheave off of there. It's not the greatest job, but it's not the worst job. But I still got to put belts on. I've only got one left that's not garbage, so figured might as well buy all 4. And I'd like to, at that point, once I get everything done and bled through and maybe working, I'd like to pull this tractor outside and see if she turns a little bit better than it did when I pulled it in here, which was, well, I mean, it turned, but it sure wasn't nothing to get too excited about, let me tell you that. So, back under the tractor I go. Guys, I wanted to point out something else too. I went and bought myself a new ladder. Because so many of you, and I can't blame you, you were all a little nervous about my wooden ladder, and well, I already feel safer, and you know, now that I've crossed another birthday, I don't bounce as nearly as well when I hit the ground as I once did, so be having a good ladder is a, whoa, see, I'm already sliding. Having a good ladder sure isn't a bad thing. Got my trusty bucket from yesterday and okay. That was really on there. Damn. There we go. We'll just let that drain out. Same as I did yesterday. I have to do very often on these. There it goes. There. Ouch. All right. That actually went a little smoother than I expected. Good. About time something went right. That's pretty nasty. But not the worst I've ever seen, so, I mean, for whatever that's worth. Anyway, guys, you've seen how that comes apart. I'm going to get this cleaned out, jam it back up in there, and I'll get right back with you. Now for my next trick, I'm going to go ahead and put my drill on this pump here and start spinning. See if I can actually get this thing to prime up with some pressure. Oh yeah, there we go. That's good news. Guys, that makes my whole day. When I did this the first time, when I had the tractor sitting out there, which I don't even know if I put on video or not, I couldn't get it to prime up. Needless to say, it wasn't working right. We are now working right. I'm going to prime that a little bit more, and I think I'm feeling gutsy. I'm just going to pull this thing outside and see how she steers now. Well, friends, a day later, it got awful cold out here and awful windy. Ground's freezing back up, which is fine with me. I mean, I'm sick of the mud anyway, but just kind of fun because yesterday it was 68 degrees here. I was walking around in a t-shirt. Now it's 26. Oh well, nothing I can do about that, but I can do stuff about this. Hi everybody. Okay, last part of this. Bear with me. Space is limited, camera angles. There's not a good way to do this, so I'm just gonna give it my best shot. I'm going to show you how to get this sheave apart here when you got this bullshit shaft instead of the one that I've already built for my other tractor, which I haven't built for this one yet. But nevertheless, we still got to get these belts off of here, so I'm going to show you how that works. Thank you. All right. Now that the hard part's over, okay, now what you want to do here, guys, get in between here. You got to split the shiv back, then you can push the cone back, and that should give you enough room to sneak a pair of belts in and out of there. All right, I want everyone to pay attention. Excuse me. There should be a little lock ring on this that will hold this from sliding back and forth. So this one is clearly missing, but we're going to address that at another time. Like I said, I'm going to have to pull this shaft and the whole shooting match off of here anyway, so at that time I'll split that off of there. I'll pull the shaft completely. But basically that's the idea. This shiv is supposed to go back first. Then you take yourself a little bit bigger pry tools and pry that back so you can get into here. I'm just going to get these belts changed and see, I don't know if the cone is maybe wore out or the shaft is wore out or a little bit of both, who knows. But anyway, let's get the new belts all up in here and kind of go from there. Easy peasy. Get this all lined back up and back together. There. These bolts all have holes in them so you can run a piece of wire through so they, you know, hopefully won't come off. But that's that. Now I'm just going to wrap these belts around this pulley, around my steering pump here. There. Nice and tidy in there for the most part. So looking at my camera right now, I know I've edited and cut this. That took me 14 minutes. That's not so bad. I mean, yeah, the shivs didn't come apart the way they're exactly supposed to, which honestly saved me a little time because I didn't have to bust them apart. It saved me probably 2 minutes, but hey, whatever. They're apart. They're back together. I kind of want to see if this is going to work. Hey guys, okay, so let's jump this ahead a little bit. Now you'll notice I am in a sweatshirt. I had to take a small break from this because I had a few other things that I had to do that were just more important than that was. So, granted, it's only 5 days later, but look at all this nice warm weather we've got. So let's talk about a few things here. So guys, I obviously, you know, I've got everything changed out here. Oh, I took a recycled muffler from the old Green Bastard, one of the originals. I just decided that it would be better on there rather than, you know, right here where that other one was blowing out and blowing all this smoke in my face. So that's not fun. I went ahead and pulled the grill off this thing because, well, I was kind of curious if there's not an obstruction somewhere in the whole thing, and the easiest place to get to it is the oil cooler hoses. Well, I'll tell you this right now. It's not obstructed. That seems to be working. However, I am not convinced that this cylinder is any good. And I think what I'm going to do today, since it is nice and warm, I haven't started this thing since. I've been just running a little tests here and there with just putting my power drill on the pump there, but I thought, well, maybe it'd be easier with it running because, well, you know, I can't be up here with my hand on a drill and back here. But anyway, never mind that now. What I want to do here today, guys, is just, I took the top off of this so it'd be nice and easy for everyone to get down in here and see what I'm doing. So I thought I'd pull it outside. I've got the pin loose here, so if I want to pull the pin, I can. I'm going to crack both lines, turn it back and forth, and see if I can run some oil through these lines to get some of the air out of it. Then I thought I'd pull the pin, see if it'll move the cylinder itself back and forth. Like I said, guys, the way this was acting when I backed it in here, it makes me feel like the cylinder's just, you know, there's no resistance in the middle, and probably the O-ring and the seals and packing and all that, my guess is they're completely shot, and that's why it'll steer a little bit and not much. It kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I can't really explain it to you, but for now, let's pull it outside and see if I can breathe some air. Let's see if I can push some air out of it and, you know, kind of go from there. Otherwise, well, I guess it doesn't even matter. I'm going to pull that cylinder anyway. I just know I am and have it rebuilt because why not? I mean, it's probably garbage, but this will be a good test to see. And I know, too, a lot of people have expressed concern about the amount of smoke that thing's making now that, let's see. Well, what can I say? I'm a little concerned about it, too, especially because number 1 port on the exhaust manifold is just slobbering wet. Could be, you know, it's been sitting for a long damn time, and the time when I backed it in there, it was not warm out by any means, not anywhere close to today. So 6 one, half a dozen the other. Either that engine's shot, or I just really need to hook it onto something and get it running to get all the blubbers worked out of it. But first things first, let's get it so I can get it to turn. Let me see if I can get that fired up and pull it out of here. That's been inside this pipe for the last few weeks, but nevertheless, let's try this out. Well, I definitely got some air coming out of there. Let me twist the wheel a little bit and see what happens. Let's see, if I'm putting pressure here, that means I'm going to be turning quick. Let's try that. Cycle that a few more times. Let's see if anything good happens here. I'll tell you one good thing. See, you got a lick of smoke coming out of her now. That's better. Pay attention here. I know the cylinder will move all the way in and all the way out, but still not totally convinced that it's got enough pressure on it. I'm very convinced now that I've got all the air out of it, so let me stick the pin back in and see if it'll turn a little bit. All right, guys, here's my diagnosis. I just put the pin back in that. I can physically move it in and out without very much pressure with my bare arms. I shouldn't even be able to move that with nothing in it, let alone with stuff in it. So I'm guessing that the whole time this thing had steering problems for the last 20 years, when it got parts for that and all the rest of the stuff removed, that was probably the culprit the entire time. Can't be 100% until I take it in and have it redone, but definitely ain't working very well. So guys, I guess that's kind of where I'm gonna have to cut her off for now. I'm gonna pull that cylinder out of there, send it to the same guy that redid the one for Turd Ferguson last year, and I think it's gonna work. There's just, I can pull that thing in and out of there so easy. There's no way that's right. Hell, you can't even pull a little cylinder out that easy most of the time. So that's where I'm at for now, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Not a single person asked me if I could run fast in my new shoes today. Being an adult is stupid.